How are you all doing, everyone? I hope you've had a great day, because today I finally built my new PC. I'm still in the middle of transferring all my stuff, but that's not gonna stop me from making content. And I was quite spoiled for choice of content. We have Xbox fanboys saying 30 FPS is okay, we have PlayStation fanboys asking for Hellblade 2. And we have Harmon Smith going out of his way saying that there are no games on Steam. It's like walking into a library saying that there are no books on the shelves. Very interesting, isn't it? And I'm sure you were all wondering, which topic did I pick to go for this video? Well, it's pretty obvious if you clicked on this thumbnail, you wanted to see Harmon Smith, of course. That's what I wanted to do, clearly. It would have been really cool to make fun of Xbox fanboys, but I get no views whenever I make videos on them, so it's not really worthwhile. So without further ado, let's go take a look at Harmon Smith's video.
I have spent the last 2 days doing nothing but playing games on Steam. That's right. I got my high-end gaming PC set up.
Even after all this time, we are still yet to see this so-called high-end gaming PC, and I want to know what it is. You've been saying this for some time now. What type of specs has it got? Like, come on, if it's high-end, you at least want to prove it to us. Show it on camera, do something. It's like a cryptid of Harmon Smith's character lore. You're never gonna see it. It's like I don't know, the Mothman of him. Like, you're just never gonna see this so-called high-end gaming PC that he always talks about. Maybe it's more like Bigfoot. Everyone's heard about it, but we've never actually seen it.
I downloaded a bunch of games. I was searching through the libraries. I was looking at the Steam store. I was looking at the Steam sales. I was looking at upcoming releases. I was sitting there for hours and hours and hours trying to find something to play on Steam. And once again, there was absolutely nothing.
So you're telling me you couldn't find one game on the largest store on all of the gaming platforms that you can find, has more than 100,000 games, majority of them are porn games, don't get me wrong, but you're telling me you could not find a single game that may interest you, either free to play, already existing, just whatever, purchased, cheap? You could even use emulators that are not even on Steam to play your Nintendo games. And if you've only found a couple games, it already has a feature similar to like YouTube and all that, how it gives you games that are recommended to the genre or thing that you enjoy. I'm shocked that you can't find a game that you like or enjoy at all. I won't lie, I was kinda lying, I'm not really shocked, it's just stupidity. I don't know how you can't find anything. There's stuff right there for you to find. You've also got emulators to play those Nintendo games that you enjoy so much. And on top of that, it isn't a curated site where all your games and entertainment things are determined by the company that owns that platform. Steam is a platform where you can get whatever games you desire, and if you can't find what you're looking for on Steam, there's always other platforms like Epic Games, GOG, and some other places where you can go get emulators, and some other sites that offer you smaller, free games, or whatever you want to choose. So I don't know about you, seems like some major cope and some laziness on your end.
Within 2 days, I had played basically everything I wanted to play, right? Doom Eternal, Tales of Arise, right? And that's basically it, right? And of those two, the only one that was any good was Tales of Arise, right? So Tales of Arise is the only good game on Steam, is my understanding of this situation.
So you're telling me you found 2 games in 2 days' time that you actually wanted to play, which was Doom Eternal and whatever that other one is. I've never heard of it, probably will never play it myself. You know, now that I think about it, I kinda wanna see Harmon Smith play Dwarf Fortress. I wanna see how long it takes for his brain to get lost. I love Dwarf Fortress, that game is very silly. My dwarfs have schizophrenia because some weird eldritch horror keeps trying to mess with them. It's a very cool game. It's like RimWorld, but even cooler. I wonder if we could ever convince Harmon to play Rust. I feel like he'd be the type of guy to build a trap base or just sit there and primlock for most of his time, hiding in bushes with a DB that he stole off of some individual. I don't know. That seems like the perfect Harmon rat mindset.
There's nothing else to play. Nothing. Steam is a complete joke. Doesn't have Unicorn Overlord, doesn't have Princess Peach Showtime, doesn't have, another Code R or Mario vs. Donkey Kong. I have had so many good, alright games on Nintendo Switch this year.
Harmon, you know there's emulators on Steam that give you all those games, right? I think the Dolphin emulator might have most of them. I don't use it personally, but I really should. And on top of that, there are also other emulators that you can use to find whatever games you want, from other platforms that may not even be Nintendo. And I think that would be really cool, wouldn't it? Like, I just don't understand how you can limit yourself to, like, one platform's games and just say the other platform's garbage because it doesn't have those games natively on that platform, or you don't have games that are similar to it, so it must be trash.
And Steam doesn't have a fraction of that. What am I going to play on this thing? Tekken 8 with its battle passes and its microtransactions and its censored female characters? No. Like, I'm not gonna play Tekken 8. I have good fighting games.
For Honor is best fighting game, change my mind.
Need Tekken 8. Okay? Like, if I want to play a good fighting game, I'll play Soul Calibur 2. Bro, it's sad how much better Soul Calibur 2 looks, plays, and feels compared to Soul Calibur 6. Like, it's a...
I've never played them, I have nothing really to comment on, but I think you should drop those games in favor of For Honor. You would get a far more interesting experience out of that game than anything else. As you can tell, my sarcasm is through the roof. Never play that game. Don't play it. Bad game. Play War Thunder instead. It's more amusing to leak military documents more than anything, so I'll just recommend you do that.
Embarrassing listening to that awful voice acting, seeing these terrible character models, like seeing like the world have so much less personality. Gone are like is the epic narration, the cool original stage design.
And that's pretty much what happens with future installments to games. It's not really expand upon what already existed in the first game and improve upon it, it's now just, okay, can we match and make what's exactly the same as the first game or previous installments of the game that people seem to like, and never improve upon it. That is the sad state of modern gaming.
The great opening cinematic, like the amazing music, Link, like the greatest character in any fighting game ever.
That explains why he likes it so much.
Geralt and 2B. Like, what a downgrade. Imagine going from Link, the greatest video game character of all time, to freaking Geralt. Okay? One of the most overrated fantasy heroes in, like, the past 20 years.
I've never played any of the Witcher games. I have never touched any of them or mainly ever had any interest to actually look at them. I've played 3 for a little bit, got bored and uninstalled it and never touched it again. But there's clearly a reason why people have him in the game. There's a reason, and that's because he's likable. People like his character, maybe like his story, or maybe just like the games that he comes from. You don't just add an unpopular character and expect people to like it. For example, why did they add Master Chief to Siege? Because people like Master Chief. And why did they add Kratos, Master Chief, and all these other characters to Fortnite? It may be something simple, but remember, those characters are popular. Because there would be no point to add an unpopular character. If you were to do that, you wouldn't gain any revenue. Especially if you were to add someone like Kratos, that's a lot of revenue. If you were to add someone like Spider-Man, Peter Parker especially, you would probably gain a lot of revenue for adding it into a game as a crossover.
Okay, nobody cares about that Elric and Melibene ripoff. Nobody! Nobody likes Geralt. And it's just one of those things. It's embarrassing seeing people seriously try to prop up Steam as like a viable alternative to Nintendo.
Harmon, and everyone else watching this video, I just want to give you all a quick reality check that no matter what you do, no matter what you say, Steam will always be arguably the best platform to play games on. Purely because it's had 18 years to build up features, and all those features come in benefit to the consumer most of the time. Of course, we still have DRM and all those other cool little fun things that makes performance on PC terrible, but that's why you have other launchers if you don't want to deal with that. But to think that any console, any handheld device will ever come close to what Steam is doing is pretty unlikely, because you need to match Steam's variety in games and the amount of games on that platform for the prices that you can get them. That is what you're trying to compete with, and no console, no platform will ever have a market front similar to Steam's, as every single one of them are all curated. And that's not to say that Steam isn't curated as well, it's just not as curated as much as the other competitors.
Because, like, what's the big game everyone's talking about now? Stellar Blade, that's not coming out on PC. Stellar Blade, that's not coming out on PC, right? Like, everyone knows that these games are going to come out, like, on PC eventually, but the fact that you have to wait a year, like, you really are just better off buying a console, right?
If I want to buy Stellar Blade, I will buy it on PC, using a key site to get it for dirt cheap. I know, I'm a bit of a cheap ass. Most of these games genuinely aren't worth buying at full price anymore. Even I can admit Dragon's Dogma 2 should not have been charged at full price, even though I may like the game. It's a game that shouldn't be charging you that much for an unfinished product with a lot of issues. So I'm more than willing and happy to spend less money, and save myself all the money and make the purchase maybe feel just a little bit better. And if I have to wait a year to do that, so be it. And I will only pay full price for a game if a developer genuinely deserves it. Look at From Software. They very rarely ever let you down on your purchase, so you know, I guess I might as well give them the full price, because they deserve it. Many developers now do not deserve any of the money that you give them.
Unless you're like me and specifically primarily buy Nintendo games, like there is no reason to own a gaming PC. You know, like I like the gaming PC works for me because it allows me to avoid the hardware that I hate, right? But like if you're just a neophyte who's just getting a gaming PC because like, oh, it has all the best games, like you are in for a rude awakening.
I don't know about you, Harmon, but I think you're gonna be in for a rude awakening, because there is no point to own a Nintendo Switch right now. You can get all the games on PC, just like you can do with many of the other consoles. Just grab it off the cartridge, and if you want to keep the game on you, put it in the cloud, or keep it in storage somewhere on your PC. Because guess what? Steam and many other launchers never get rid of their games regardless of what generation of PC you're on, whatever generation parts you have, for any of the parts that you may have, because your Steam platform, for how long you've ever had it, will always be with you as long as you can log into it. Nintendo, Xbox, and PlayStation do not have that exact same level of preservation as Steam does, and we could only wish that they did. And you know what's better about PC? Is that it's a one-time purchase. You just need to have that game on whatever launcher that you have and whatever account you need to, you just need to log into it and that's it. There is no purchasing or getting a subscription service like Nintendo to access some of the older games on their platform. That is it. It's a one-time purchase. Once you purchase it once, it's yours forever. I could never imagine Steam going out of their way to be like, oh, this game's 10 years old now, you need to go pay a subscription service to access that game. Imagine if they did that, how much outrage there would be. But for some reason on console, that's accepted. I think you guys should really just strive to having all these games available regardless of what platform you're on. And it seems like Xbox is taking some steps into that direction, but I'll have to see it to believe it.
Boy, because Power World doesn't live up to the hype. Baldur's Gate 3 doesn't live up to the hype. Elden Ring doesn't live up to the hype. You know, like we have like new Elden Ring DLC coming out like in the next couple of months, and does anyone care? Is anyone talking about it? No. The game is a complete joke.
Well, I guess I'm not waiting for the Elden Ring DLC anymore. Better just like stop hyping and waiting for it patiently as it slowly comes around the corner. I guess I'll just wait for the next From Software game. My bad, Harmon. Water.
Baldur's Gate 3 is just one example of just everything wrong with PC gaming, right? It has nothing to do with like high quality video games or good graphics or good stories or like, you know, making games that are better for adults, right? It's just something targeted towards casual gamers.
Aren't most games on most platforms targeted towards casuals now to make the most profit? I don't really get how this is an argument against PC games or PC in general.
Right? It is a mobile tier. Like, it is a mobile game, essentially. When you compare, like, PC gaming to console gaming, like, PC gaming has much more aligned with, like, the mobile gaming audience, right? Because everyone just has a PC lying around. Oh, I'll just download Power World. Oh, I'll play it for, like, half an hour. Oh, it was the most fun I've ever had, and never touch it again, right? You know, that is the average PC gaming experience.
Harmon, you perfectly described what a casual is. I don't know what to tell you. You're making me lose brain cells. I'm crying on the inside. You're making me suffer.
Just like that is the average mobile gaming experience. Rather, like, when you compare that to, like, how the Nintendo fan goes through games, you know, because this month, March, one of the best gaming months I've had in a long time, you know, Unicorn Overlord and Princess Peach Showtime, you know, fantastic games, you know, from start to finish. You know, I spent a weekend playing through Princess Peach Showtime, loved it, would really love to go back and play it again, and I spent like several weeks going through Unicorn Overlord, which was a fantastic experience, even though it's, you know, probably not the best game ever or anything. Like, I enjoyed it for what it was, right? You know, Unicorn Overlord was way better than anything coming out from, like, any other JRPG creator, you know.
It's always the end of the video when Harmon gets the most unbearable, in my opinion, as you need to really sit down and think from everything else he's previously said in the video and try to make sense of it into some context where you can convey it to your audience. But as always, I always fail to do that as Harmon never makes any sense, and I might just leave this video here. I think you've gotten enough from him today. That's enough of your lethal dose of salt, as you might say. So I guess I'll leave this video here. If you want to help me in return for giving you this salt, help me reach 2,000 subscribers, because that means I'll open up my Discord server for a very select few people for a very short amount of time, and alongside that I'll start streaming. So that is all for this video. I'll see you all in the next one, take care, have a great day.